it to go in like slide presentation?
You can download it on the left side and then click on, that, and then the expand.
Did we need a visual?
This is his last persuasive presentation.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I'm Eric Rodriguez, and I'm here to tell you guys why Japanese cars are arguably the best cars on the market to buy. So, what would make them better? They have there's multiple factors as to why they're better. Reliability. Japanese manufacturers have historically been known of making reliable cars. They have always put the customer in mind first, and they've always made the cars just a little bit cheaper and more affordable for the average buyer to be able to afford. They're always innovating their engineering and their technology, always making advancements, always wanting to further how well they make their cars. In Japanese culture, they always pride themselves on how well they can put a product out, not just related to cars, but anything, and that does still relate to their cars. They've always made high safety standards, and that is arguably the most important feature. And they've made a lasting culture that still goes to this day. So, Top Speed made a list of the 12 most reliable cars in the past decade. 10 of those cars happen to be Japanese cars, as well as there's 8 manufacturing companies with 4 out of 5 reliability ratings, and 6 of those happen to be Japanese manufacturers. This leads to less time in the garage or less time in the shop if you work on your own car, and this is a lot cheaper to maintain, and it's easier. And it's true that it does depend on the owner. You still have to do basic maintenance on your car, and you can't expect it to give itself an oil change. But doing little things like an oil change will save you a lot of money in the future, because they do last a long time. I have a Toyota Sienna in my family. It's a 2008, and we're trying to get that car to 300,000 miles. It's currently at 275, and it's still running great. Affordability, initially it depends on trim, the package, the model that you buy, but they do generally uphold their value well over time, and most cars will even appreciate over time because they're done being made, and many people will look for them. Maintenance, for across the board, all companies have around a $652 maintenance for a year. Toyota averages $441, and other Japanese companies are still below that average cost. And parts are much cheaper to fix. That Toyota Sienna, I was in charge of fixing it up, and I learned a lot. And the parts for that car versus the Volkswagen that I was working on was a big difference. Parts were much cheaper, and it was a lot easier to fix. Japan is well known for always innovating, always creating new things, looking into the future. And Toyota and Honda, back in 1997, they released the Prius, which was one of the most environmentally friendly vehicles, and it still is. And they're always looking for better ways, safer ways to manufacture cars that's better for the environment. And in terms of the future, they're putting a strong emphasis on electric vehicles, as well as future AI-driven cars, self-driven cars, so that the user doesn't actually have to drive. Quality. The work ethic in Japan is incredibly high. They hold themselves to their own standard, and this is true across the board for anything, especially the vehicles that they put out. They always think about what the customer needs. They don't skip they don't create any shortcuts for themselves. They don't skip any little things that could potentially cause the customer headaches in the future, because they always want the best product available. And this is what keeps them having a top spot in the automotive industry. Safety. So the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety is a safety test that all companies have to pass in every country. And the top safety pick plus is what is the highest standard a car can get. In 2023, 6 Japanese companies produced 18 cars that all reached the top safety PIG plus, and that's not easy to reach. A lot of American cars do not reach that safety standard. They are also, Japan has its own test that companies need to pass, and it's to increase the communication with the customer so the customer fully understands what they're getting, to create more advanced safety features, and it encourages the making of safer cars. Compared to America, America's a lot more speed, power, and luxury heavy, which are completely fun, don't get me wrong, I love that. But Japan focuses on reliability, efficiency, and safety. So for the average consumer, it would be a lot better to pick one of those. And culture. Japan has created a huge car culture in both America and Japan, and even across the globe. They created a freedom to enhance any car. You can customize it the way you want, on the inside, in the engine, in the way it looks, the way it sounds, the way it drives, everything. And it's influenced movies like Fast and Furious. There's a bunch of car meets going around everywhere where people will bring whatever build they want and whatever build they created, and it's just a chance to get to know the other people in the car community. And it created a lot of different driving styles, such as drifting. Those are my resources.
Very nice, thank you. All right, so you could just probably leave my